guilty.
Okay, what? Okay. How long has this investigation on Hunter Biden been going on? Like, it's gotta be, like, approaching 4 years at least, right? Why are they so obsessed with the son of the president? But also, why are they obsessed with his penis? Why do they all want everyone to look at his penis? Also, isn't that, like, a breach to just, like, show off someone's... I don't know. It's just, like... And then people are like, finally, something we can impeach Joe Biden over. What are you gonna impeach Joe for? Having a son that's lit as hell? Last I heard, Boebert and Marjorie were fighting about who got to, like, draft the script or the impeachment documents. They were fighting over who got to do that. So hopefully they keep fighting, and it'll probably never happen, though I'd like to see them try. Like, go ahead, go impeach him. Go for it. I would love to see it. I'm looking forward to it.
Hunter Biden has been charged with a felony and misdemeanors and 2 misdemeanors, and he is pleading guilty to several crimes and submitting to sentencing by an appointed judge, a Trump-appointed judge.
That sounds fair. That's literally just fair. That's just like the law doing like a fair thing for once. Like, I don't know why they're still on about it, because obviously Hunter's being held accountable. I don't know why they're still talking about it. That's like the same thing is happening to Hunter that happened to Trump. Like, I don't really get why they've latched onto this so hard. They're like latched on like it's a nipple. He's already been held accountable, and it's not
evidence
hidden.
of political interference, a very serious charge.
He is too moderate. Well, that's why, like, I personally don't care. Like, I personally am not against, like, them, like, Biden being impeached if, like, it was the correct thing to do. Like, if there was actual merit and he did stuff wrong. It's just they're grasping for literally anything just because, like, the political rivalry. They're so mad that they went after Trump that they're trying to do the same thing with Biden, but it just has no merit. And they're just grasping at nothing. They're grasping at his son, who has already been charged for his crimes and has already, like, been held accountable. I don't know why they're still talking about it. No, they don't. This is literally the thing about conservatism. Since conservatism has existed, it has relied on conspiracy, paranoia, and things that don't have merit to it. It's just, that's what conservatism needs to thrive. It needs conspiracy and paranoia to continue. And it's almost never based on anything that is actually happening.
So we are left here with 2 possible options for this story. That either Mr. Weiss, who was appointed by President Donald J. Trump, was lying to protect the Biden administration, or he respectfully disagreed with the charges that today's 2 witnesses wanted to bring as professionals in their professional opinion. Disagreement over charges is not uncommon.
Yeah.
The IRS Criminal Tax Council attorneys have disagreed in charging decisions, as we heard here today, 90% of the time. Now, I understand why the 2 witnesses who testified here today are disappointed after 5 years of investigation. I believe you all are honorable, serving professionals, truly. And that Mr. Weiss disagreed with this analysis of facts, that Mr. Weiss made his decision about how to charge in this case, and he did charge. And that was a decision that he, as the U.S. attorney in charge of the case, was empowered to make.
What is the goal? What is the goal? You've gotten your goal. He's been charged. I don't understand. I don't know why Hunter Biden has been tied so closely to his father. Not to say that family means nothing, but, like, you are not responsible for everything your family does. You can't control, like, a grown adult. It's so weird. They have nothing else to go for. They don't. They have nothing else.
But that being said, this is the problem with bringing these conspiracy theories into this committee. They beget more. It does not stop. And today we have gotten a new conspiracy theory, one that requires us to believe that David Weiss, a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney, has somehow been complicit in abetting and concealing a deep state conspiracy to protect Hunter Biden on behalf of the Biden administration when they were selected by Donald Trump. Given that Hunter Biden is now criminally charged and facing sentencing by a Trump-appointed judge. Today also marked a new low when pornographic images were paraded in this hearing room. Sadly, that is a reflection of how low some individuals here have been willing to go in their efforts to attack the president and his family. And frankly, I don't care who you are in this country. No one deserves that.
It's so dumb.
It is abuse. I yield back to the chair.
Gentlelady yields back.
That was a good statement. I'm gonna check this, because I think this is the footage of her doing it. Does it actually show it? It's blacked out, but I think I'm still gonna be careful. Okay, yeah, no, I definitely can't show that. Oh my god. Okay.
Before we begin, I would like to let the committee and everyone watching at home that
this meme is very real.
Is advised. I would also like to remind
wait, I can show that. I can show that. She literally holds up a sign. She made a fucking poster with like a warning sign. Viewer discretion is advised, bro. She made a whole sign.
Is advised.
And then just puts it down.
And their unwillingness to prosecute.
Look at
it's
this.
Politically motivated. I would also like to say that when
God. Those were the Attack on Titan songs I knew. Saying Dems are human trafficking when they're literally showing revenge porn. Did she do this in the Capitol building? Is that where this hearing room is? Yeah. Oh my god.
I would like to talk with you both about Hunter Biden and his tax write-offs with his law firm, Owasco. I would like to ask Mr. Ziegler, when did you start your investigation? In your testimony, it was November 2018. Is that correct? Yes or no?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. During your testimony with the House Ways and Means Committee, you stated that through bank records, you identified Hunter Biden was paying prostitutes related to a potential prostitution ring. Is that correct? Yes or no?
Well, that's
Yes,
bad.
that's correct.
That's
I've
bad.
also reviewed those same bank reports, commonly referred to as SARS, Suspicious Activity Reports, and I'm very troubled by
okay.
them. We read thousands of them in the Treasury.
This bitch loves posters. She loves her little cardboard posters. This meme is very real. Why are they obsessed with Hunter's cock? I have no idea. If you guys can get an idea, then they're like, look at his cock, look at it, look at it, look at him. Cock. I don't think anyone's denying that Hunter did this sus shit, but like, what's that got to do with anything? Why are you so obsessed with it?
What's even more troubling to me is that the Department of Justice has brought no charges against Hunter Biden that will vindicate the rights of these women who are clearly victims under the law. I would like
They
to
probably
talk about
are,
your
yeah.
prior testimony. You stated that
Wait, why is she acting like she cares about sex workers now? Don't tell me you're pretending to care about them right now. They're victims under the law. Yeah, probably. They're probably victims. What? Since when have you cared? Now that you can use this to weaponize some weird obsession you have with Hunter Biden's cock.
the prosecutorial team was investigating violations of the Mann Act. Is that correct, Mr. Ziegler?
That is correct.
If a person is transported across state lines for sexual activity, such as prostitution, that could be a violation of a federal law. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I would like to present
What is
this to
that?
the committee. This is showing Hunter Biden paying for a victim's United flight from LA to Dulles. This is his proof that he bought the ticket. He bought it for this woman right here. He flew her from Los Angeles to Washington.
What is that
on
photo?
June 14th.
Wait, can I send this video to you, like DM it to you, and can you figure out what those pictures are? Because I genuinely have no idea what the fuck I'm looking at. I have no idea what the fuck I'm looking at. Where she's in the bed? I don't know. It's kind of blurry. I'm having a hard time like figuring out what that is.
Angeles.
What am I looking
I
at?
would like to force
Like, is that her butt?
traveling across.
So I can talk to.
I don't know.
specifically
I
what
don't know why she's like gathering evidence right now. Why is she doing this? Because I'm pretty sure this is a thing I don't know. This is like evidence you bring up in court of law. Left side selfie, right side ass on bed. Okay, the left side's a selfie. I'm like, I
What's in my
cannot look at this.
transcript?
Is prostitution. It's a violation of the Mann Act. Let me
Yeah.
just move
Why
on
why
to
is Congress bringing this up? This has already been a case that's been had. They've probably already presented this evidence against him. And he's probably already being like prosecuted for this. Well, they want to make it public. That's why. They want to make it public, but no, that's definitely a crime and that's bad. But like, why are you bringing it up here? If anything, I don't know the most about like court and stuff, but I feel like if you actually want something to happen, you probably shouldn't just have a public hearing like in Congress for everyone to see, because doesn't that would probably make the prosecution take longer, you know? Wouldn't that be the case? Because I feel like you got to keep kind of quiet about some things because it could make accountability take longer. It could make like a solution take longer. So why? It's gonna take forever. Maybe they're trying to drag it out. Maybe they're blatantly trying. I don't know.
So when Hunter Biden paid for this woman to do this with him, to travel across state lines from California to Washington, D.C., this is a violation of the Mann Act. This was prostitution.
Full hog. Well, there was a black box, but they're so graphic even with the black boxes. There's one of just the girl's butt, and they censor her crack. I'm just... She's so unserious. This is so unserious. I'm just... But the children! Like this... oh my god. No, this has to be like
Hold on 1
revenge.
second.
No, there's definitely children seeing this. Like, this is like too far. Like, I'm not showing this. I don't want to see the full photo. I don't want to. It's gonna make me gag and throw up because I've seen so many nasty dicks in my DM. I don't need to see Hunter Biden's crusty, dusty, giant hog. I don't want to see it. They just showed this girl's whole ass. Like, that didn't even have Hunter in it. They just showed the girl's ass. Like, why? You were just saying she's a victim and now you're just showing her naked to Congress and to like the press? That's so f***ed up.
Hunter Biden using his company, Owasco PC, to pay prostitutes. This is also a suspicious activity report showing that victim one, the woman that was paid for prostitution, that traveled from California to Washington, D.C., paid for by Hunter Biden. This is an excerpt from a SARS report that we've read in the Treasury.
Yeah, literally, we just watched a video where AOC said he's already been charged or, like, is currently, like, being prosecuted for this. Like, this has to be interfering with, like, the court processes. Like, I don't understand what the point of it, what this does for anyone or anything.
Showing that victim one was supposedly an employee of Owasco. This is not really what most paralegals
she showed the same
do.
thing.
And it's very serious that Hunter Biden was paying
She really wants us to look at it.
through his law firm and then writing it off as business tax exemptions.
Okay, yeah, that's fucked. He shouldn't do that, but he's already been...
Write off things for their taxes through their businesses like a meal or, say, office supplies. But can you confirm for me that Hunter Biden had written off payments to prostitutes through his law firm, Owasco?
I appreciate.
Yeah, it's literally just show and tell.
I'm limited
She's
in my
literally just
testimony
doing show and
today.
tell right now.
I respectfully would need to turn those records over to the House Ways and Means Committee.
You referred to one of the assistants as West Coast assistant. I believe this is the West Coast assistant. Could you agree with that?
So I can tell you that there were deductions for what we believe to be escorts.
Maybe, I
and
don't
that
know.
$10,000 golf club membership.
I don't really know
That
exactly.
was not a golf club membership. That was for a sex club payment.
That was for a sex club payment. Payments such as this from
I'm
Hunter
like
Biden.
not exactly sure what I'm looking at right
Also,
now.
Mr. Shapley,
Mr. Chairman, we're 1 minute and 53 seconds over. As long as Ms. Ocasio-Cortez can get equal time, she can keep going.
I will
What?
let,
He's fully getting his dick sucked in that. His penis is in her mouth.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Shapley, you started an investigation into Hunter Biden, codename Sportsman, which opened in November of 2018. It was an offshoot of an investigation the
I-
IRS was conducting into a foreign-based amateur online
people aren't
pornography
real.
platform. This is evidence
Chairman,
of
Wait, what is the? Okay, there's a censor bar really low, and I think it's meant to be covering her nipple, but it'd be really funny. It's like between his knees. It'd be really funny if that censor bar is for like his balls. I can't show you, but there's like a bar on his penis and then a bar like down here, and I think it's her nipple hanging because she's like right there, but it'd be really funny if it was for his balls. I'm just saying.
Chairman, it's
making
over time,
sex.
and it's
Excuse me, this is my time.
unbecoming of-
Making pornography.
Wait, she's out of time.
Should we be displaying this, Mr. Chairman?
No. I don't. Hear ye, hear ye. We all gathered today to stare at Hunter Biden's fucking balls. I don't know what to say. I'm yawning. I'm desperately trying to get oxygen in my brain. I could cry. I'm so confused. Their end goal is to ban all porn. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure these were, like, not public photos, though. These were leaked images. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, too, but that has nothing to do with this, because these were photos that were leaked and that she showed publicly about a guy who's currently being charged for these crimes, and including an alleged victim of his. If she really believes that that's a victim, then she showed pictures of his victim from whistleblowers at the start. Yeah, they're leaked. Those are leaked photos. So that can't be like appropriate to show publicly. I don't think that should be allowed. No matter how you feel about it, that's just like so fucked. It's insane. I'm sure Hunter Biden was completely in the wrong here, but I don't know why they had to include the victim, and also they shouldn't have just showed those photos to the whole American public. That is completely inappropriate. I do believe that Hunter Biden did bad. I joke all the time about how like they're making the Biden family seem cooler just because I'm annoyed at how paranoid they get and how much they talk about it. But I do believe that Hunter Biden did bad shit and he's not a good dude. I don't think anyone really disagrees with that. The spectacle they have made when this is already something that's being handled, just to like get it to fall back on his dad somehow. I just like I don't know what they want. It's just crazy. Oh no, I want to hear Sam Cedar's comments on it. What is this, her history lesson?
I saw this clip over the weekend. I think it was Sunday night. I must have seen
Okay,
it.
so this isn't commenting on that.
And all I could
but-
think of was like at Turning Points USA conference. This is the same one that Trump was at. And then, wow, he came home and he found out that he had 4 days to report to a grand jury. But here's Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Lyndon B. Johnson is very similar to Joe Biden. How are they the same?
Perfect. This is perfect. I'm ready for this.
They're both Democrat socialist.
I'm pretty sure, isn't LBJ the one who got us in the Vietnam War? LBJ. Uh-huh. He escalated it. Yeah, he was a very stubborn person, and he felt very strongly about Vietnam, and he is one of the reasons why we were so, like, defensive about staying there, and why we were sore losers and wouldn't leave sooner than we should have. No, he was not a socialist. The point of me mentioning that was like, no, he was not a socialist because he actively escalated a conflict against socialism.
Glass-Steagall and...
I was born in 1974. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. And just, for those people who are not Congress people...
She was born in
not one of the most
1974.
powerful,
I thought she was
Republican
older.
lawmakers. Glass-Steagall was a bill that was adopted, written into law in the wake of the Great Depression that basically separated commercial banks from investment banks. Because when they're combined, the investment part of the bank starts using the commercial funds. And when they take a big loss, a systemic economy-wide loss, a lot of people are left like, wait, where's my money? And under the Clinton administration, that was repealed. And then, of course, 15 years later, we get the 2008 financial crisis. She was asked a question about it, had no idea about it. My point in bringing that up is when she is reading this stuff about Lyndon Johnson and Joe Biden, I have little doubt that she, A, knows what even she's talking about as she reads it, or B, had heard any of this stuff. If she said this on Sunday, by Saturday, she hadn't heard, like Lyndon B. Johnson, that was before she was born. Doesn't need to know it. Go ahead.
Lyndon B. Johnson was the majority leader in the Senate. Does that sound familiar?
Bro, they almost act like presidents aren't supposed to hold other positions of power before they're president. It's almost like most politicians are politicians for a while. I'm sure there's so many more presidents that were House Majority Leaders. Was Nixon? Nixon was something important. It's just, this is not like a weird thing. I'm pretty sure Nixon he was definitely a very important person in Congress. He might have been, I don't know exactly what he was, but he was a very important person in Congress before he was even president or vice president. It's just, it's so silly. He also was vice president. Yeah, it's almost like vice presidents or presidents a lot of the time had been vice presidents before or had held a high position in Congress. She's just mad because Trump, her king, did not hold any legitimate political power until he was president. That's not weird.
She doesn't know what she's talking about. Joe Biden was never the majority leader in the Senate. He was a...
Oh, he wasn't? Oh, he was a senator?
Does the Senate sound familiar?
Oh, okay. He wasn't even majority. Yeah, see, there you go. He was a very important senator, but not like... I guess he wasn't even... I didn't even know that. I've never heard that he was majority House leader, so I guess she's, like, completely wrong. Because I never heard that. I thought he was just, like, an important senator, which I guess he was.
Really fascinating how sort of disastrous this country is. That someone like this could have the power that she has.
Was Reagan governor of California before he was president? Yeah, a lot of people were governors before. I don't know why she's acting like this is a weird thing that okay, yeah, he was governor of California. But it's not weird that these people did politics before being president. That's not a conspiracy. I think it's really funny that she thinks that. Ma'am has lost it.
He was vice president to Kennedy. Joe was vice president to Obama.
Oh.
He was appointed as the president after JFK was assassinated. Then he was elected.
What?
His big...
How is that similar?
...programs were the Great Society. The Great Society were big government programs to address education, medical care, urban problems.
How dare he? What? I'm so confused. Like, what? Like, socialism, like... having an educated population. Ooh, jump scare. She doesn't want that because then no one's gonna vote for her. If the general American population is extremely educated, then Marjorie Taylor Greene and her peers are never gonna be elected to office again. That's literally the only reason they don't like education, and it's really funny that these people are just like anti-education. That's really funny to me. It's also very sad that like people legitimately think that the education system is like corrupt and incorrect. Yeah, learning is communism, actually. It's so bad. Just education's good. You gotta learn like math, how the world works, history, how the political system works. It's a good thing to learn. Languages, some art stuff. That's where like usually people learn what they're interested in and what they want to do with their life in school, because especially in high school, when you get the option of electives and stuff, you get to explore different things that you like.
Rural poverty, transportation,
Things the government deal.
Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and welfare.
Oh no, how could he? How could they? How could they support those things? That's crazy that she listed all those things as like an own. I'm pretty sure the majority of Americans are like supportive of those things, so I don't know why she's like being publicly so against those things. Because I think like a large amount of Americans are for welfare and social programs like that. Like even conservative, whatever, like welfare is just generally a popular policy.
And big labor and labor unions. Now,
wait, conservatives like labor unions too, though. I feel like a ton of conservatives like unions. Big labor. Yeah, that's really funny. Unless they're cop unions. You'd be surprised. You like go around America or like talking to people. There's like a lot of like European thinking in America, more than you'd think. A lot of them have like pretty progressive thoughts on like unionization. Well, like the politicians hate unions, but most of the like general population, even if they're conservative, are for like unions. It is like a very populist way of thinking. So we got a lot of like conservatives who are like anti-immigration, yet they like their unions and they like labor protections. It's a really weird thing. Yeah, when you're talking about like the GOP and like the people in power, yeah, no, conservatives don't want unions, like the people in power. But I'm saying like if you go around talking to conservatives you'd meet on the street, a lot of them have weirdly progressive economic takes. But then you ask them about social politics and then they turn into you know who. Yeah, unfortunately, that's what we gotta work with.
Even like the average Glenn Beck listeners can be like, yeah, this is pretty remedial and not exactly accurate.
Super remedial. And I just love
Yeah, I don't think LBJ even supported all those things.
education,
Transportation.
healthcare.
Like, yeah.
Terrible shit.
Like it's
Terrible shit. How old is Sam? Because I love his hair. Well, he's been like graying a bit, but I think it looks so good on him. His hairline looks really good. Like, he's about my parents' age, I think. He looks really good. He's 56. Okay, so he's literally my parents' age. But he looks very good. I gotta say. He takes good care of himself. And I like that he's letting the grays fly. I like the gray hair look. I'm not gonna lie. If I go gray, I'm letting it hang because I think the salt and pepper look is... I love it. I'm a big fan. So I'm gonna let it hang.
LBJ had the Great Society, but Joe Biden had Build Back Better, and he still is working on it. The largest public investment in social infrastructure and environmental programs that is actually finishing what FDR started, that LBJ expanded on, and Joe Biden is attempting to complete.
I mean, bringing it back to FDR is not exactly like incorrect. I mean, I don't think he's trying to continue New Deal stuff or like expand upon it. I think if New Deal was continued upon, we'd be way more of a welfare state than we are. Even so, she's bringing up the name of like their agenda platform that politicians have, but the idea of like a kind of like catchy title for an agenda as president really became a thing around FDR, and that's the only reason I agree of her bringing it back to him, because I really don't think LBJ or Biden are really trying to further expand upon the New Deal. But with the New Deal, just because that was such a catchy name that we all recognize, and that was like the big term for his agenda, generally catchphrases and coming up with catchy terms for your political goals became a big thing in political campaigning from then on. Especially by the time it got to Reagan, every politician has their own platform with its own catchy little name. It's just been a tactic ever since FDR. He popularized it, and now having a catchy name for your platform has been a thing. That's why Build Back Better. I don't know what the comparison is. Even like Make America Great Again. That was Trump's slogan and platform. Reagan definitely had one. It's marketing and branding. That's literally all she's bringing on about. Like, every president has had a platform. People like to know what you're gonna do in office when you're running. You just started coming up with a catchy title to catch people's attention. It's a marketing thing. That's literally all you're talking about. Literally every politician does it. Every politician does it.
Meanwhile, we are now $32 trillion in debt. With record high
Oh my God.
year record inflation, we're losing the US dollar as the #1 world currency.
Again, she's like pretending to actually care about these things. No one gives a fuck about the debt. I say this all the fucking time. Literally, the last president to leave office with less national debt than they started with was Calvin Coolidge. And the last president to completely get rid of all the debt, I'm pretty sure, was Andrew Jackson, who was the 7th president of the United States, I think. Anyone who claims to care about the national debt is a fucking liar and just wants to cut social networks. A surplus, he had a surplus probably on the federal budget, but no one has left office with less national debt than they went into office with since Calvin Coolidge in the 1920s. Because Calvin Coolidge was a starch, harsh, economic conservative, and we know what happened right at the end of his presidency. His presidency literally led into the Great Depression. If you're really worried about the national debt, cut military funding. If you're really worried about the national debt, cut police funding. But no, the first thing they go for is stuff that's going to affect the general American and the working class and make people actually suffer. That's exactly what happened under Reagan. That was the big thing that happened under Reagan, is he immediately made the majority of his campaign on eliminating the national debt, right? And what that meant to him is that he was going to cut all the socialist programs. And it was very easy for him to do because the paranoia of the Soviet Union was very high. So he had that as an excuse for campaigning, and it made people more eager to vote. And also, as soon as he got into office, I'm pretty sure within the first 24 hours, he cut spending on a ton of social programs. However, he did not actually eliminate any national debt because he ended up just putting a ton of money into military endeavors, and also the endeavors failed and are often kept secret. There were a lot of things he did in terms of military pursuits that were complete fails and managed to avoid the public eye. He did nothing to get rid of the national debt because they don't actually give a fuck about that. They just wanted to cut social programs. That gets me so mad. This is one topic that I get really heated on.
Even on their own terms. I mean, this is so dumb.
Yeah.
Joe.
It's so dumb.
Man.
FDR was a socialist. That's their line that they're talking about.
I completely agree. Spending money on mental health care would dramatically cut police spending and whatever supposed need for police we have, because we rely on police to deal with mental health crises, which notoriously they're very bad at doing and tend to escalate and cause worse problems for those in crises, often killing them, and they're just not equipped to handle those types of things. If we made it more accessible for people to get rehabilitation, therapy, medication, all that stuff to help them take care of mental illnesses, the amount of crime and just general public outbursts we'd see would be so much less. And also, if people were just taken care of in terms of their health and mental health, people would have so much more money to focus on living, and they wouldn't have to worry about living. And therefore, we wouldn't need as much police because people wouldn't be as desperate. People won't be as mentally ill. People won't, have breakdowns and episodes, or would be able to be more adequately taken care of if they had those episodes or breakdowns. The police system and the criminal system just escalates mental health crises and other people who are desperate to live and get help. It doesn't help anything. So if you really want to cut debt, you gotta more adequately spread what you are putting the taxpayer money into. If you put it out to the people and provide programs for the people, that's gonna create a society with much less problems and much less needs to spend on crisis management. Because it's much easier to spend money to prevent a problem than it is to stop a problem when it's already happening. That's just true. Like, it's exactly the same as, like, deciding to spend a little more money on, like, a washing machine. If you buy a cheap washing machine, the chances of you running into problems and having to fix them is going to be crazy. Oh, wait, even better, a really cheap car. You buy a really cheap car, right? An old used car with like problems and with a life on it. Therefore, it runs not as great, and you're probably going to have to go in for maintenance a lot. And that racks up on itself. That's going to cost so much more to keep fixing it, to keep it going. It's going to rack up. When you can spend a lot of money on a good quality new car, and it's probably going to run into many less problems because you get quality by spending more money, you know? You get what you pay for. There's so many things like that. One quote I remember, I forget exactly who said it. It's way more expensive to be poor because when you buy a cheap toaster or cheap tools, they're probably going to break much faster, and therefore you're going to keep having to buy it over and over and over again because you can only afford to get the cheap one, yet it keeps breaking. Whereas people who are more wealthy can afford to invest in a good quality item and tools are going to keep those things for much longer. Therefore, it's more of like an investment, whereas you pay a lot at once, but it's gonna last you a really long time. That's my analogy for investing into the people, to prevent issues and keep them happy, healthy, educated. It's going to make society better, first of all, but it's also going to prevent us spending way more money when a problem does arise. A man who could afford $50 had a pair of boots that'd still be keeping his feet dry in 10 years' time, while a poor man who could only afford cheap boots would have spent $100 on boots in the same time and would still have wet feet. I don't think that's exactly the quote I've read, but that is a very good one, and I like that a lot. Terry Pratchett, I'll have to check that guy out.
I think if you look back at the FDR era, what it did was basically give capitalism a new lease on life after.
Yup.
Completely let the air out of the tire moment.
Yup. Because people were so ready to give up on capitalism after the Great Depression, and FDR found a way to give people hope again. Because social safety nets under capitalism are a good thing, and I think they should totally do that. But it does end up giving people more hope that the system is working because they aren't blatantly being failed and aren't struggling to live. But I don't think people should struggle to live. I would rather push for social safety nets than not have it at all, just to get people skeptical of capitalism. I think people are skeptical of capitalism anyways, but he said his greatest accomplishment is saving capitalism. Yeah, I think you're really deluded and just really trying to get a certain message out if you really think that FDR was a socialist in any type of way.
Honestly, if you're Joe Biden, the idea that you are part of the lineage of FDR, LBJ is, I got to be something that I would imagine, something that you are excited to be considered in that sort of pantheon.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad thing to like be compared to. I don't know why, because like I don't think LBJ was, but FDR is definitely considered one of the best presidents of all time by like most liberal scholars. So I don't think Biden would really be too upset at that. I don't know. It's just LBJ too. He was stubborn and got things done. No, I don't think he's similar, but like they're acting like this is a really terrible comparison where like if you're really trying to embarrass him, find someone like worse. That they just had to go for like popular presidents' names.
If Build Back Better had been the sort of the original version, there would be an argument, I think, but it failed.
If Biden stuck to what his promises in Build Back Better, I would see the comparison, but he didn't do shit. So there's no argument here.
Can you imagine what Joe Biden must be thinking of this? Well,
he's probably laughing.
Imagine no more. Here it is.
Joe Biden had the largest public investment in social infrastructure and environmental programs. Is actually finishing what FDR.
Okay, listen. I think Biden, not great and needs to be doing more. Him using Marjorie Taylor Greene to campaign for himself is undeniably extremely funny. Like, this is hilarious. Like, okay, pop off a little bit.
Programs to address education, medical care, urban poverty, transportation, Medicare, Medicaid, labor unions. And he still is working on it.
That's pretty good.
It's good. That's good. Wait. He kind of popped off. I was just on him, but like.
If only.
I wish.
Or did they edit it?
If only.
That might
It
have been
is-
an edit.
I mean, it is amazing. I think
It's
like a
real?
real sign of the, polarized.
Holy
And the thing that
He
I
clip
appreciate
chimped
about
her.
this moment.
That's awesome. Honestly,
agree on-
whatever interns Biden has, he picks some good ones. He must have picked people like who are just chronically on Twitter or something, because that's hilarious. That's like an Onion level humor. I genuinely have to give them credit. I think that is like the Onion level humor, like on their part. I genuinely feel that way. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I can't even lie. Like, I gotta give them credit for that.
If you don't want to do
Onions
anything
are like
about poverty,
ogres.
you
They
don't
have
think it's a problem.
layers. Executed? No, I don't think Trump should be executed. I'm against the death penalty. I'm anti-death penalty. I don't think anyone should be executed. Oh my god. Oh, he did use it.
Largest public investment in social infrastructure and environmental programs that is actually finishing what
That's I kind of have to like. You're kind of funny for this, Jack. There we go. Anyways, so Marjorie Taylor Greene has lost it. I don't think we should be that surprised. I'm done talking about her. Da 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 da.
Do not diddle kids, it's no good diddling
Yeah.
kids.
I'm eating
Do
chicken
not
nuggets.
diddle kids, it's no good diddling
They taste so
kids.
good in my
Do
mouth.
not diddle kids,